Semi-final number 2! Aldrich Pass is our map between the Storm League enjoyers and Hopium incoming. Once again, this is HGC 2024, the Hanzo Genji Cup, small North American tournament that we're running. We've had a lot of European tournaments lately, and this is a small one that we run on the NA server, which makes it a bit more NA friendly. The starting time of this one is also favoring North America. Obviously, the Europeans can still participate. Same would also be true for any Korean team that would want to sign up. But yeah, in this case, we have a European against a North American team, and the Europeans have now to play cross-server, so on NA, which means a ping disadvantage. Very similar to what we've seen from a lot of the NA players that are playing in the European tournaments where they decide to play cross-server, so yes, basically the same thing. Big shout out to Psychic, to Kevin, made this possible. We have $1,000 of prize money for the winner of this, and there's 0 rules for the draft or the tournament. Just totally vanilla tournament style. There's no pre-bans, there's no bounties, there's no you can't play hero more than once thingies. So yeah, I already asked in the other games, but I'm going to ask again. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, drop in the comments if you prefer that. If you prefer that a hero can only be played a single time in the series. We're going to take that feedback on. Just a little bit curious what people actually think. So, yeah, we've done a lot of tournaments lately where we allow a hero to only be played once within a best of 3 or best of 5, just to create a little bit more hero diversity without having to impact the games too much, as we do in Meta Madness, for example, where, of course, the entire idea is to push teams really outside of their comfort zone and force them to pick some crazy stuff. But this is now the semi-final, and I said it before, out of each qualifier that we have, this is the second one, we advance 2 teams to the final phase of the tournament. Which means that we don't have to play the Grand Final, and this tournament here is no exception. The Grand Final is not going to be played, so whichever team wins here makes it into the final phase of the tournament directly. So, yeah, Hogger, Anduin already taken. We got Junkrat, Garrosh, and Leoric. This is a little bit reminiscent of what we've seen from the Enjoyers previously. They were really good at turning games around just on the last moment. And it vibes very well with what they're doing on the European side too, because they are a team that just thrives in chaos. I've been saying this for a long time and I can just repeat myself here. So Aldrich Pass as a starting map is also going to be interesting. But yeah, Tracer gets banned and we get the Sergeant Hammer ban. That's actually an interesting one. It's the first time that Sergeant Hammer gets banned, but if you think about it, Hammer, of course, when you're talking about ping disadvantages, Hammer is also kind of a funny one because it's very... There's not a lot of micro needed with Sergeant Hammer. Get your right click in, and that's basically it. So, as is, we now have Sylvanas and Anubarak also locked in for Aldrich. Anubarak obviously a little bit annoying because you can use him to also cheese the prisoner camp, which players have been figuring out a long time ago. Masquerade was actually one of the first ones to do that. In the competitive environment, and was really annoying with that. So, yeah. Most teams will pay attention to that. But if you are up against an opponent, isn't aware of it, you just spawn a couple of beetles, you distract those grunts, and then you start the channel. So, next double pick over here, we got Rhaegar, and we get Greymane. So, that gives us Junkrat and Greymane for the damage output, Rhaegar to also help with the camp, and Fuzz as the final pick for Hopium incoming. And that sets the stage for Aldrich Pass. So which team is moving on to the next phase, or the final phase of the tournament, and who will have to go for the last chance qualifier? Well, Aldrich Pass will at least give us a bit of an idea. So let's see who's going to win it here. The Enjoyers are hoping incoming, as we have Fuzz with Hanzo as the final pick for game number 1. Hopium incoming on the left side in blue as we're heading into Aldrich Pass as our first map as mentioned. We have Just In Case on Anduin, Grey Color on Sylvanas, Mundane Zebra on Hogger. Some of these player names are just amazing. The Mundane Zebra, like what the hell? And Lupus is playing Anubarak at the front with Fuzz on Hanzo. Absolutely brilliant. Arian for the red team, for the Poles, is playing Garrosh. We got Lavakal on Rhaegar, Alvaros on Junkrat, Itrax on Greymane, and Richu is playing Leoric. But yeah, fantastic player names here. Sylvanas is actually moving towards the top together with Justin. They are, of course, going to try and take one of the towers down. Oh, Richu misses the drain. Yeah, this is not a good start when you're trying to defend against the opponent sniping a tower early on. And since they actually split their heroes onto 2 lanes, with the Nubrog also attempting to provide a couple of beetles to make the same happen at the bottom of the map, it is tricky to match this. So, a little bit dicey here. I mean, so far they've been able to more or less pull it off. Greymane is now also moving in. Was hoping to get a kill on Hanzo. Not able to make that work yet. We got Hanzo with Redemption on level 1 and trying to get his stacks here. But a nice aggressive opening from the North American team as they're trying to take some of the structures out very quickly. And they are about to do exactly that up at the top. Leo's now alone. The camp, on the other hand, gets heavily prioritized from the European teams. That's an interesting one. There's a clear difference in how things were approached here, because Hogga is now moving over, but he is a little bit late to the party if you're comparing it. Yeah, so they took that a lot faster. Leorki. Leoric at the top, turning into a Leorki pretty quickly, so not only did they get the tower, but they also got a kill. Hopium incoming. Might be overdosing on that Hopium pretty soon. Greymane at the bottom gets chased just a little bit by Nubrog. Nothing too impressive, but still. Blue team is currently making the calls. They're the ones making the moves, and they're saying like, alright, we're pressuring the top, we're pressuring the bottom, we're taking those structures out slowly, one step at a time. Nothing insane, nothing crazy, but we're just going to keep working on destroying the walls, destroying them at the top, at the bottom. Sylvanas, and he actually gets out. Sylvanas is able to escape. It's also an early level 4. A big gap in experience, but enough to grant them the early talent there. So, yep. And in the middle, Garrosh was looking to provide a kill opportunity. Didn't quite. This is already shaping up to be an interesting game. I honestly wasn't really sure what to expect here as we were starting or loading into this. But so far, the way that the early game is shaping up, I think this might be a game on absolute eye level between the two. So, yeah. Pretty well done. Now, again, I've said it before, we have a very chaotic team with the red team. They love to be hyper-aggressive. If they get opportunities, they are going to take them. And you should never count them out. There were too many teams already that were ahead against them that lose a team fight and they just come in to take the entire game and steal it away. So you will underestimate them at your own peril. Level 6 versus level 5. We still have the objective up now, so Nubrog can cheese it. And does! They're actually not guarding it. And Nubrog cheeses it. He spawns beetles, the guns get distracted, and that is pretty quickly a lead on the objective. Now, I'm not going to get the entire thing, but this is a pretty significant advantage that they get for absolutely free. Exactly the play that I was highlighting in the draft. And I'm a bit so... Oh, but it's a kill. Yeah, maybe I stayed a bit too long there. But then again, him getting killed and Hanzo getting killed also opened up a bit of wiggle room for Sylvanas at the top to get more damage in. Nice save, by the way, by Garrosh, so nicely done. Greymane is able to survive just because of that. Sylvanas at the top hasn't really damaged the fort yet, but was able to take the entire wall out. Yeah, not quite dying to this, but this got a bit tricky too. And they lost a lot here. I mean, Sylvanas had to retreat. Now the objective is getting targeted by the European team. And they're actually taking a lead on this. Yep, they are slightly ahead now. But Lavakal gets hit, caught, and killed. Yep, 2 kills to 2. Love this. Great back and forth here between the two teams. Just action, action, action. As they're all trying to go for some neat little moves. Top side, Sylvanas holding her own currently against 2, Greymane and Leo. We're talking a lot about Sylvanas, obviously, what she really brings to the table when we're talking structural damage. But let's not forget, you get Greymane on structures in Worgen form. And he is wrecking things. Absolutely wrecking them. So Sylvanas, talking about wrecking someone, she's gonna get wrecked. Yeah, trying to go for structures here. And this could get very dangerous very quickly for them, but at the bottom of the map there's some counter pressure happening too. There's action all over the place. Top side pressure by the red team, bottom of the map, blue team is pushing in, trying to take a wall down and maybe even the fort. So yeah, they're doing a ton. So a camp has been taken in the meantime. They're rotating to the bottom to defend. Leo is by now alone topside. at the bottom of the map, now that the objective has been taken indeed by Hopium incoming. They're getting the cavalry in. Problem with that, well, you get a little bit of value from it, but normally not too much because it's very early in the game and it's not that strong yet. Hogga is trying to escape and might just be able to. Yeah, gets not hit, and what do you know? He actually gets out. Nicely done by the mundane zebra. Oh, arrow, nice, good connect. Leo trying to ghost out. It's the fountain. Ancestral. What an it by the way. But not enough of a follow-up. Just enough to kill a Nuburak. And that one was pretty sweet. You gotta give him that. That one was a very, very nice turnaround. I mean, check this out. This was pretty crazy. He gets the Ancestral. First he stops the Wraith Walk to tap the fountain. Then he gets the Ancestral, drops the Entomb, and that allows them to kill a Nuburak. So really, really cool turnaround in that situation. And that was not an easy one. But yeah, they dove deep as they were trying to get that kill. Now, the party continues. Still starting to make a couple of moves over here around the camps. And in this case, for example, it's also like top 4 that's going to get attacked again. But Sylvanas is at the bottom of the map making a similar play as she is now trying to take this out. And she's trying to get a kill, and she will. Alvaros goes down. That's him destroyed. Junkrat gets murdered. And this allows Sylvanas even more space and time to go for the bot side fort. And it will likely fall. And even if she can't... Well, no, she can take it. They're even looking at the boss, I believe. So the first fort is removed. 3 kills to 4. I love this game. Hopium incoming, and the Enjoyers seem to be absolutely evenly matched here. And it's just one hit after another. In the middle of the map, some damage has been done too. Hogga's just going for the big spin to win. They are going to try and take the boss. And while the red team is now rotating over, I think they're going to be too late for this. Yeah, they sniffed that out too late. That boss is going to be taken. Boss claimed, just as the bot lane, so it will open up the wall on the keep a little bit. By too much, but yep, those are the moves that you need to make. Bit of a leading experience. Could get level 13 just a little bit faster. Sylvanas now at the top. Still hoping to just simply go for the fort here. And she's about to. I mean, she's about to go for the fort and take that one out too. Leo comes in. They're just out-rotating them. All the moves that are being made now by the Polish team are just a moment too late. And here we go again. So at this point, we're having the next play being made in the middle. Sylvanas is just dancing around the top fort. At the bottom of the map, the boss still has to be defended against. Sylvanas might not be able to survive here. Still trying to get out. Is able to get away. The fort is not destroyed yet, but it will fall for sure. And Hogga is already busy over here. I like what Hopium incoming is doing. I mean, they're really hitting all the bases. They're making play after play after play. Looking at one opportunity after another that presents itself because they're forcing mistakes on the side of their opponents. 13 versus 13 still. 4 kills, 2-3. So despite all the efforts of the blue team, they are starting to take advantages on structures, but they're definitely not in a dominant position just yet. But I like the way that this is going, especially for us as viewers. So how is the red team gonna react to this? I mean, the Polish team needs to make a few plays. They need to do something. They need to take a couple of structures out. They need to also try and get some kills. Bridge that experience gap. Fort destroyed. It's getting a little bit tricky because this is another boss play now being made, and I'm not quite sure if they're sniffing that out in time. They had problems with the one at the bottom of the map already. Now at the top, we're seeing a similar situation unfold. And it's not really working for them, is it now? Another boss is taken. They're trying to go for the objective, I suppose, and try to claim that. But things are not really all that easy here for them. 4 kills to 3 right now. And it's Hopium incoming that is just making... Sorry to say, they're just simply making the better plays here. It's simply what it is. So, yeah, big moves are being made by them. Here comes the Reptile. Big advantage for the red team, at least when we're talking about the objective. And I'm not quite sure if the blue team is able to shut that down as I initially expected. Boss is pushing at the top. There's a big wave at the bottom of the map, but the objective is about to be taken by the Polish team. Are they trying to interrupt? No, they're just letting it happen now. They're just letting it happen, but they get the arrow out, and boy, what a follow-up. Woo! What a play! Yep, they killed Sylvanas at least, but everybody else is dead. Greymane is desperately trying to escape here, so he's on the run. The objective is at least taken, and the fort in the middle is getting destroyed, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't think these raiders are going to do a whole lot of work. They're very likely not going to do anything here. So, yep, topside boss has now been defeated. They're going for the raiders, trying to take those out. The big kills that we saw there was definitely a bit too much for them to handle. 16 versus 15, 7 kills to 5. And yep, they are running the show. Nice defense, essentially for free. And Greymane now at the bottom of the map, making his moves right here. So, very slowly and steadily, they are making the plays to defend, to attack, to push the structures, the remaining ones, to go for bosses. If anything that you could criticize here is that maybe that they haven't extended the lead far enough yet, given the situation. Especially now with Greymane being at the top and able to take that fort out. So, the red team, honestly, the way that this game was running so far, I really feel that the red team should be a little bit farther behind. Which is obviously to credit them here. They have been doing a great job staying in experience range, despite the fact they just lost 4 heroes in that last fight. They are still kind of close. And now it's just a question of whether or not they can win one of the upcoming team fights. The boss at the bottom is also on a 30-second cooldown, or timer now. So that one's going to be back soon as well. And here's the pressure play for the bottom fort. So, yeah, arrow connects. And Itrax is already rushing out here. Yeah, light bomb. Oh, just the edge of it. Connecting with Garrosh, and that allows them to catch up and take him down. Garrosh gets killed. That light bomb was so clutch, but it was just enough to slow him down. And then they were able to capitalize on that by moving in and getting the kill here. So, yep, great for them. Nicely done. And now that opens up another boss for the blue team. This would be their third one. This would be their third boss. Oh boy. 3 in a row, which is kinda nuts. I mean, they get a kill and they immediately at the next point, they're like, alright, let's go, let's take the boss, and let's see what we can do with it. Objective hasn't been announced yet. They are probably going to move into the middle to try and take the fort out while the boss has to be defended at the bottom of the map. Still 13 minutes in, hasn't scaled insanely yet. But the pattern is there. The pattern that we are seeing most of the plays being made by the blue team is definitely real. And they have not gone down to the bottom of the map in order to defend this yet. So, yeah, the boss is currently just pushing for it. Boss is starting to go in for that. Yep. And it's about to destroy the bottom keep. So doing way more damage than I thought it would because the defense is a bit late. Now they're not going to lose the keep, but it's a lot of damage that has been done. And given the fact that your opponent is running Sylvanas whenever they get close enough to this one, it's definitely a goner. So, time will tell. Hanzo's now all the way up at the top, very much alone. And over here in the middle, also trying to go for the next fort. That's a weird one. It's a pretty interesting one honestly. Right now, I'm super curious who's going to be able to take the first keep out. And also what the red team is going to do, because they still need to get some team fight victories. If they are able to just simply win a couple of the team fights around the objective, for example, they could definitely turn the game. They've done it multiple times, but now they're up against level 20 talents. And this is, again, being used to just move straight in towards the top and try to take the next boss here. And it's just boss after boss after boss after boss that we're talking about. This is the 4th one. It's ridiculous. Let me just bring up the experience bar real quickly. Look at the minion experience. Sorry, the mercenary experience. They're more than doubling it because they're basically taking everything they can. They have 4 bosses of an advantage. This is not really a mercenary camp heavy map. But the bosses are being taken time and time again by Hopium incoming. And it seems that the Polish team has real trouble dealing with all of this. So right now, you're looking at a little bit of experience that the red team is still missing until they have level 20, and then they can start taking fights again. But maybe we're even seeing the top side keep taking some damage too now, which means that 2 of the keeps are severely damaged. And as some of the heroes are defending, they're pushing for the middle, as we already expected them to do earlier, and are starting to take this one out. So another fort falls. They're doing really, really good with this. Well, maybe they're not, because for some reason that fort hasn't fallen. And they have level 20 talents now. So there's Farseer Blessing and Buried Alive. Maybe he can hit that. Yeah. These structures are all so low. And they try to go for the objective now. Boy, if they can get the objective, can you imagine how much damage they would be able to do? Structurally, I mean. The structures would fall on every single lane. That would be crazy. But yeah, for now, off we go. Right now, there's the Riptire, and the Nubarak is dead. That Entomb was on point. Yes. Nice Entomb. Is the Enjoyers? Is this again one of those moments when in the late game, all of a sudden the Enjoyers are starting to just make the right plays and then take the game? We've seen too many of those to just discount that thought. So the Enjoyers are trying to make that happen once more. They're already going for the objective. Blue team isn't even trying to deny this. They're just saying, okay, screw it. We're going into the middle with Hogger. We're going to take the fort out. And I guess they want to have the keep at the top too. They're trying to go for the camp. Sylvanas is going for the keep. Should be able to take this. So they're just getting value. And they realize we are going to lose at least the objective. But we can do so much more damage in other situations. And Leo ghosting in here. Yeah, he did not think there would be this many heroes against him. So Leoric is down, and they can't rotate in for this with everything they have. Nice move by Hanzo. Greymane is gone. Hopium incoming with some super important plays here. And the Europeans, they just fell for it. So now the fort is gone. The keep at the top is gone. The keep at the bottom is still taking additional damage. And the objective, yes, it will travel through, but with 2 heroes down, Greymane and Leoric both, this should again be fairly easy to defend against. They shouldn't have big problems with that. Hanzo's arrow comes in, immediate follow-up. They want the kill, but Junkrat is able to get out. Good for him. Junkrat at least surviving. So that's 1. 10 kills to 6. It's bananas. Hogger and Anduin haven't died yet. Those are the only ones in the entire game. Yeah, 6 kills against 10, as I said. Level 21. And in the middle? That's at least 1 that I would personally like to attack if that was me. So, yeah, try and take that one out. It's kind of wild. We're 18 minutes in, and while I still maintain that Hopium incoming is still the team to make most of the plays here and really calls the shots, I don't want to discount the Enjoyers. It's always a mistake if you don't take them too serious, and they have done damage in the last few seconds. I really like, though, how Hopium incoming reacted to the fact that the red team was about to get the objective. They made some really good plays there. Removing one of the armor shields of the core is, of course, super important. By the way, 6 stacks on the level 7 ability of Greymane currently. Yeah. Just focusing on the damage output again for a second, he's at 32,000 damage, but look at Hanzo. 60,000 with all of that poke that he brings in. The Entomb misses, but they're definitely not missing the fort. So this fort gets destroyed. And all of a sudden, when you're looking at the map, I mean, essentially, there is just... the difference is a keep at the top. 1 keep at the top is currently the difference between the 2 teams. So that's a bit of a problem, considering how many nice plays Hopium incoming made. I feel they are not capitalizing on the good moves enough. Oh, there's again light bomb. Boss got leashed at the bottom. They're looking for the fight here. It's not a full commitment. But the boss is there, and it's only 1. So they're all dancing around it. All trying to see if they can maybe take that on. Oh, yeah, that one goes wide. Woof! That one's still flying, by the way. Duck if you are anywhere in the east. Leo down. All right. He'll be back. Ancestral, it's once, twice. Good for them. They got Sylvanas out. 5 versus 4. But Leo is the one that you're okay losing in a team fight like this. He's going to respawn faster. If they get a counter kill, that's a very, very different story. Then it would be worth the trade. But without anybody else dying, a lot of cooldowns being burned, it's still a 4 versus 5 that they have to suffer through. And that might, again, be another boss, because that's the kind of plays that we've seen. Richu would scout it, though, right away. And it's 10 seconds until Leoric is back. They're willing to go for it, and they know that at least Garrosh has to tap the fountain. So, yep, they're sneaking it in, or they're trying. Leo, he can't possibly delay them long enough. No way. Boss is taken, and Leo insta-dies. Honestly, that one was pretty dumb. Come on, boys. There's no way Leoric is able to delay the capture of the boss long enough for the rest of the team to come in and survives the entire encounter. There's no chance. So now the attack is coming through the bottom of the map. This is another keep that goes down. And guys, this is the second armor shield that gets destroyed. So here's the chance to end the game. 2 armor shields gone, that's your chance. Leo not here. If you can get a kill right now, then it's over. Greymane in particular. Greymane is... It's gone. It's gone. This game's over. Greymane gone. This is just lights out. 13 kills to 6. Hopium incoming is taking the lead against the European team. They're committing. Only 1 armor shield is still there. That's not enough. Leo is back. It doesn't matter. I don't see them defending this. Not against the boss. They're going for the core. There's just too much. Too much damage, too much pressure. And Nubarak is dead, but it's game. That is Hopium incoming with a lead in the best of 3 series here at the semifinal. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2. The NA team is in the lead. Hopium incoming has done well on the last map on Aldrich Pass. Now we're heading into Dragonshire as our second map and potentially the last one in the series. It's match point for the blue team. Interestingly enough, the Europeans have now decided in favor of the map and have gone for a macro-heavy map, if you so want, because, again, you can run around your opponent a lot here. You have to control 2 points at the same time. You can also argue it's a team fight heavy map because like it allows you... Well, I mean, again, there's a couple of arguments to be made that team fights are crucial here, because if you have good team fighting, you can, you know, take a team down in the mid-game when the death timers are a little bit higher, and that allows you then the time to go and take the objective. But Diablo gets banned, Blaze gets banned, so they're targeting the front line. They're targeting some of those engaged heroes that you have also for stuns. Whereas Junkrat and Lucio both get banned out by the Europeans. And Brightwing as a first pick. Okay, fruit fly time. Dehaka up, Falset up. You could go globals here. But we've actually seen this from the Enjoyers in the previous series, and I'm 100% certain that Hopium Incoming was watching those games. So if Falset gets taken again, are we going to get that countered by, I don't know, Genji trying to apply pressure? They go for Dehaka. Sylvanas as well. I mean, Dehaka alone already gives you that global control that you're kind of looking for here. So, Dehaka, Sylvanas, double pick for the blue team. Now that, I mean, Brightwing Genji Light Bomb engage. Old school, with Emerald Wind, isolation play. Hogan Hanzo. But Sylvanas is always like a really, really good tool. No matter what kind of objective you have on a map, just having the ability to go for side lane pressure and then also getting a lot of that damage out in the team fights is pretty sweet. So let's see what we are getting from the red team after the ban phase. There's already with Genji banned. I mean, there's multiple reasons why you would ban Genji, right? But do you think that we're actually going to get now, as a result, Falstad as another choice? If they're going for a double global, then they're really saying, hey, we want to play macro if we can against you. So Genji gets banned. Last time they were here, they had Falstad against Genji. Didn't go well.
I will fight to my last breath.
Murid and Rhaegar. So you have a Stormbolt into Tongue, playing around the Totem, using Rhaegar for the Mercenary Camps too. Sylvanas, of course, as well. And what is Alvaros gonna take? Can still swap some heroes around. Still need the main tank also for the blue team. Jojo would also be up if you wanted to do that. Garrosh and Jaina. Okay, Jaina with the burst damage, Hanzo providing the arrow. Yep, and Alvaros. Final pick, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2. So, what's it gonna be for the Polish team? They're running down the timer here. But yeah, I want to see what the damage is in addition to Sylvanas. Zagara, very European. Very EU pick now in Dragonshire. Is that really going to work for them? If Zagara gets touched by Jaina, she is going to die. Or by Hanzo. So, Dragonshire, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2 between Hopium incoming and the Storm League Enjoyers. The second map of the best of 3 series, the semi-final. This one is going to decide which one of these two teams moves on to the final phase of the tournament directly. Keep in mind, we're not playing out the grand final necessarily. It's not needed. 2 teams advance from each qualifier. On the left, the blue team in the lead in the series. We have Fuzz on Hanzo. Just in case is playing Brightwing on this one. We got Lupus playing Garrosh. Mundane Zebra on Hogger, and Grey Color is playing Jaina for the blue team. Over on the right side of the map, the Enjoyers with Arian and Sylvanas. Richu is playing the Haka. We got Lavakal on Rhaegar, Atrax on Muradin, and Alvaros on Zagara. And Zagara is right down at the bottom of the map, and it is honestly... I am interested to see how Zagara is going to fare here. She always has the problem that she is very squishy, and damn, Haka apparently has also joined me the squishy club because he is dead quickly. He just pulled a Lauber. I mean, 30 seconds and he's already dead. So, yep, the Haka just got Laubered. And at the bottom, oh, this is another kill, isn't it? Zagara, low. Nope, they didn't have enough damage. Well, maybe. Ah, Grey Color just missed this and has to be careful that he's not going to be the one dying. Garrosh providing some cover here, and this helped. But yeah, that could have been... It could have been a bit tricky, to say the least. But okay, as it stands, what are we getting? We have currently at the bottom of the map, being spread for some extra vision. Of course, teams, especially the blue one, are really hoping to lock in a W here. 2-0 victory would secure them a spot in the final phase of the tournament. And the Enjoyers, of course, they are going to try the same thing. They want to force game number 3 right now. We have camps taken. This is where Rhaegar shines. It's where Sylvanas is adding additional value. And still keeping my eye a bit on Zagara. Because there's so many heroes that could become a problem for her, depending on how this goes. A little bit of damage done in the middle of the map. They're also going straight up for those siege shines. Making a move for them. And, yeah, top side. It's the clash of camps, as it seems, with Sylvanas having also a say in this one. But they go for another kill, and this time it is Hogger that goes down. So, a kill for a kill, as the Enjoyers just saying, alright boys, we can kill a few of you as well. Give us an opportunity and we'll drop anyone, and that's exactly what they did here. So they get the kill, they make the move. Zagara is trying to retake the shrine at the bottom of the map, whereas Jaina is the only one at the top trying to defend. Which is really tricky against the Haka and Sylvanas, plus the camp that's pushing in. So have to be mega careful. And, well, she wasn't, so she dies. Yep, the Haka comes in, gets the lick, and then there's all the damage that Sylvanas needs. So 2 kills to 1. The Storm League Enjoyers, everybody. Starting off quite strong here. Maybe losing the Haka early on in the game was a bit of a setback. But besides that, they're right here. So now we got Lupus. Getting a bit of an assist. Money pick, by the way, riding into battle in style. I like it. Even on an A, they acknowledge that the money pick is the best mount in the entire game. Nothing beats it. Fight over here costs Jaina her life again. Our girl is playing frontline pretty heavily, isn't she? Careful when you run into Garrosh. Enjoyers, therefore, with mad pressure. Not only are they pressuring a potential Dragonite, but look at that wall disappear. It's going full Houdini. Very, very quickly. So they got a camp, they got Zagara. This is The Enjoyers are... They got a bit angry after the last one, is the impression that I'm getting here. Because they're doing some serious work on this. I mean, play after play, push after push, 3 kills to 1, level 7 kicking in, another attempt to get a Dragon Knight, and this time Sylvanas is sitting in the middle, and that's a DK. 100%. Yep. Can play around the Dragon's Breath a little bit in the middle, but instead makes the choice to move slowly towards the top and assist the Hawkeye and trying to take the fort down here. And the rest of the team is pressuring the bottom of the map. So they're going on 2 opposite sides of the map and are trying to apply pressure here and are trying to see if they can damage some of the forts. Maybe not necessarily take the entire thing down, but hey, if you have an opportunity, then at least try. So have the camp in, the Haka with a quick tong, and another quick kick against Jaina, and I guess they're going to get that fort, or if not, then at least have a mega low. Another leg, damn, Richu. The man can do things with his tongue, honestly. It's amazing, just ask his girlfriend. 3 kills to 1. Bottom of the map. Yeah, they got some damage in against the fort, but not too much. But yeah, he's like a homing missile or something. Has he missed one? So far he's been connecting every single one of them. At least the ones that I've seen. Another kill. Damn, they're on a roll now. 4 kills to 1, level ahead, first fort destroyed. Somebody got angry after game number 1, and it seems like they're just going to try and crush Team Hopium here. Hanzo is dead now too. What the hell is happening here? Look at this. They're going through them like hot butter through cheese. Absolutely crushing every little bit of resistance that's in their way. It's kind of bonkers. Take a couple of camps here too at the bottom of the map. That's what they're currently doing. And really not a good start for Hopium incoming. And they don't really have a whole lot of Hopium incoming either. They have a lot of pain incoming because it's an entire level gap around your opponent having level 10 abilities. So, yeah. Good luck. I mean, that is likely going to be the wall falling over in the middle. So, attack is coming in. 5 kills to 1. 10 is ready. And, yep, that is likely gonna cost them another fort. At least the wall, maybe more. Camp is also getting attacked. Ah, Hogga, good move. If he doesn't get that connect into the wall and pushes him away from the capture point, then I think the rest of the team would have moved in to help him out. Muradin with a quick jump, and that would have been likely a camp taken by the blue team, or at least like defeated by the blue team and then claimed, stolen away by the Enjoyers. So, alright. Either way, ults are ready now on both ends. Fort in the middle has indeed taken some damage. But if the blue team is attempting to bring this back, they gotta buckle up here. They close the experience gap a little bit, but losing 2 forts like this, that hurts. Yeah, ability still being used here to take out the creep tumors. 1 kill is just not enough. Yeah, Dragon Knight is coming up again. Hanzo's already down at the bottom of the map and channeling the temple, the shrine. I keep saying temple to that thing. I did it in one of the previous matches as well when Dragonshire was played. But yeah, got the shrine here. More on Jaina. And get this nice arrow. There's the taunt, big taunt, but it's not enough, Jaina. She wanted to get the kill and she gets it at least. She knew she would die. I like that kind of play. Absolutely aware, hey, I'm not gonna make it here. So at least go full on YOLO and try to get the counter kill. And that's what she was able to get. 6 kills to 2. Well done. Grabs the kill here. Now we have another opportunity to get a Dragon Knight though. And yep. A lot of interesting choices too. I mean, first of all, we got Warlord's Challenge, and we got the Hoarder pulled over here. Now they go for Muradin. Dragon Knight is already taken. Jane had to move towards the top because there's a massive wave together with a camp that is going for the next keep, or at least the structures there. But red team still at. Ooh, dancing Dragon Knight. Look at him. Yep, hips don't lie. Going full Shakira on us. But now, oh, Stormball missing. If that Stormball connects, Hanzo might again be in trouble. What's in trouble instead is the fort. Another fort about to fall. If they commit a little bit more, and they should, because that's a freebie here. So, yeah. Fort gets taken. Job well done. So they have destroyed the entire outer ring of defense of the opponent's team. I mean, everything is gone. Destroyed it all. And on top of that now, the question, of course, can they just keep up the momentum here and then go for a couple of keeps? Because right now, the blue team is just getting demolished. They haven't taken a single fort out. They barely got 2 kills in the game. They are level 13 now, but can they fight back? They need to just also... Jaina completed her baseline quest. Maybe that helps her. There's a chance. And yeah, there's the double kill. Now we're talking. So all of a sudden, they lost the camp, but they were able to get the double kill. They have a lot of potential to really get these kills. They have a lot of burst damage through Jaina. They just need to make sure that she survives and doesn't get insta-sniped, and then can connect the damage on the stunned out target. So there's 3 kills in a row now for the blue team. Definitely not giving up. I got a bit worried that they would be overrun in this game, but instead they're fighting their way back into it and are looking a bit better here now. So this is a chance to slowly bring it back. Let's not forget, they haven't destroyed a single fort yet, so they still have to work on it. But let's see how much they can do. I mean, this is basically the moment, right? So this is now the opportunity to try and at least open a few walls up. Sealing the camp is a first step and a nice one, but you have a lot more to do if you want to get back into that game. Your opponent has fountains everywhere. You don't. So, yeah, just make your move now. And they're already trying to take the wall at least out. Taking another camp at the bottom of the map is going to help too. Hogger is currently spinning there to take the bruiser camp. And they get it. They're just not getting any structure damage. If they get an objective, it's a bit of a different story, but this is the difference of having Sylvanas and Zagara on the other side. Both of them are just so good at structural damage and really pushing and clearing waves that it's much easier for them to make these moves. And for the blue team, this is a lot harder. Dragon Knight would go a long way for them, especially as we're heading into the middle and late game. Currently we're only 10 minutes into game number 2. Damage output, Jaina, she died 3 times by the way. 3 times! Very popular girl today though. 26,000 damage for Hanzo, 21,000 for Jaina. I mean, all of them are way higher than what we're getting from the red team. There, Zagara is actually top damage. Sylvanas is coming in second. Pretty much identical damage from the 2 of them. Level 16. Experience the same. Jaina, it feels like on the minimap at least that Jaina is frontlining a lot. And she's just right there and like, yeah, I got this. And then it's like, oh, I don't have this after all. But yeah, she has now the baseline completed, so I had it earlier already. So the ice block is ready. Another nice interrupt over here. Arrow against Zagara, and the immediate ancestral. Hortapult came in. Where's the damage? They again get the maw on Jaina, but Zagara is already there. Jaina ice blocked. She still died, but they might get another kill against Muradin. He has his jump available though. That would have been the end of Muradin if he didn't have the cooldown there. So, yeah. Jaina just keeps dying. It's really a problem. She gets good damage out, and she is part of why they're able to get kills, but she also keeps dying. They could get the counter kill. Brightwing is now at the bottom of the map, at least taking one of the shrines, so that they can then come back to the middle with some global presence and try and go for it. The Haka coming in from the side, 4 versus 4. The Delict connects against Garrosh, the flip. Yeah, I don't think it's enough. Hanzo has decent damage, but I really think that for a lot of this, they just need the burst damage from Jaina. She just needs to stop dying. This is their biggest problem. They're making these moves and then she keeps dying. If they can just have her survive throughout the fight a little bit longer, this would help a lot. Now Muradin retakes at the bottom, so the double control on the shrine is there. Hogger has rotated towards the top and plays that ring around the Rosie game. Shuts them down quickly. But the next fight in the middle is focusing on Garrosh, and he's gone. Yeah, those are the plays that just can't happen. It felt like they thought, okay, Brightwing can at any point come in and help out, and then once that the attack really happened, they just lost Garrosh too quickly. Hogger against Sylvanas. She obviously has to account for Brightwing. Was able to help out too. But, well, it's not the only global on the map. We got the Haka, right? So he jumps in and makes it a 2 versus 2. The red team is rotating over, and they can flank. They can hit that. Ah, Stormbolt misses. If Itrax hits the Stormbolt here, this is a very, very different play. Jaina's of course back by now. Garrosh isn't. That's the problem. Yeah, Dragon Knight, alright. Is this the, I believe, third one? I don't even know. Second or third one for the team. And after they've destroyed all of the forts, now they're going for the keeps. This has been the problem from the beginning, essentially. That you have such a big problem with structures on the blue team's end. Because they have no fountains in the middle either. Makes it so much harder for them to sustain themselves. Look at the difference in passive experience. It's actually a miracle that it's only a 1 level gap and not even quite that between the two teams. Because there's a 7,000 XP gap in passive experience alone. Thanks to all of the structures that were destroyed. And they're still able to fight here. Hogga? What? Alright, now he pokes in, maybe? But the angle... Ah, the Maw! Didn't have the Maw to pull either. The Maws have been on point, I gotta say, for Alvaros. Not only against Jaina. Jaina has been killed as a result of her being Mawed several times now, and them catching Hogga here was also pretty important. As this continues, I'm just realizing that I have a massive, massive hole in my sock. That's actually insane. How haven't I not noticed that before? I have one of those thin summer socks on right now, and I'm just realizing this is getting a little bit cold here. And then I touched it, and I was just like, damn! Massive hole in sock. Yeah, that one goes into the trash can later. Vital information also to the series, of course. But I thought I would let you know. You are now informed. This is something you now know and cannot unknow. So yeah. But yeah, anyways. 20 is about to be ready for the Enjoyers. So with that lead and Sylvanas, that bottom keep becomes a juicy target. So they are very likely going to eye that and see if they can take that out. And yes, there's that pressure. There's that push. And of course, also Zagara. I didn't want to neglect Zagara here. I didn't want to be a meanie. But it's going to be Sylvanas that shuts that keep down. So, yeah. Anyways, with that, we have the keep likely going to get destroyed here. Yeah, there's a nice arrow, but I think Garrosh is still going to die to that more damage. I think the chances of the blue team winning this are starting to dwindle very quickly. They always had a chance to bring it back with good pressure from, let's say, Jaina, but we're going very likely to game 3. Knowing the red team, they're going to push for core here. In a 5 versus 3 with a level 20 advantage, they have pushed for core with less of a lead. So, yeah, 20 is in, 10 kills to 6. The Enjoyers are trying to finish it on Dragonshire to force the 3rd map of the series, and that looks good. So, right there, we're getting it. Hogga goes down. That leaves only 2 defenders. They're making the move, and this is game. Mirrodin is dead, but it doesn't matter. The core is going to fall. The series is tied, and we are going to game number 3 between Hopium incoming and the Enjoyers. GG. Garden of Terror, map number 3. So apparently we're going the distance on this one. The Enjoyers, they said, well, you know what? We would really like to qualify for the last phase without having to go through any kind of last chance qualifier. How about we go and win 2 in a row? So that's the goal here. Can they do it? Time will tell. Hopium incoming. Probably not going to be too happy with the outcome of game number 2. I'm honestly also not sure if they got maybe a little bit caught off guard by Zagara plus Sylvanas. That seemed to give them some trouble. And the pick into Jaina, it just didn't really work for them. Because Jaina just died too much. I think Jaina can be a massive asset, but you really have to keep her alive. And they just didn't. There were a couple of really nice Maw setups from Zagara, specifically when she was in danger too. And after these 3 forts fell in the middle, it became more and more dangerous and difficult for Hopium incoming to even move in for an objective and try and claim it. Because they didn't have fountains, they didn't have sustain around any longer. So it was definitely a bit of a weird one. Hogga as a first pick for the mundane zebra. What is a mundane zebra? Opposed to what? Anyways, double pick for the red team in our first pick phase. Sylvanas has been banned now. And Garden of Terror, you want to have good wave clear for the mercenary camps. This is really one of those examples where you, of course, have a lot of the heroes being repeated. Hoga is taken again. We've seen the Haka a couple of times. It's a big map, so you want to have that global. Other picks that could happen here, Greymane is great. It's actually surprising that Hoga is being led through the draft. Usually what you see on the European side is Hoga being prioritized as a ban on Garden of Terror just because he's so good here. So yeah, Hoga still very, very good. Great for the camps. And Diablo is also taken. So yeah, Diablo and Junkrat. Yeah, and on top of that, what's gonna be the final few bans here? Also, what do you pair off with Diablo on the support side? And Junkrat, well, I like him. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. For now, really, with the Haka, you can already see that it's again the Europeans, the ones that have the ping disadvantage, looking for globals. That is something that has continuously been a thing, I want to say, throughout all of the games where we've seen European teams here in this tournament, that they are leaning a bit more to including heroes that are great on the macro side. I believe we've seen a single game with Dino where he went for Tracer. And outside of that, most of them shied away from the assassins that need tons of micro and where every single, you know, second might matter. So more leaning towards like heroes that have macro potential. And we might even see that they go for Zagara again. Zagara and Muradin. So Zagara for all that pressure. That leaves them with a final pick. Probably also again gonna be damage, range damage. Before Zagara was chosen, I would have said maybe even Falstad. Is that an option? Playing a double global here. But Hopium incoming now with our final 2 picks. So it gives us a support and we need another damage dealer for them. There are still a few. They could also go for Zagara. I mean, you could still go for Anduin Genji or whatever. No, actually, Anduin is banned. Not bad. But Zeratul is in. So they go Zeratul. They want to hunt her down. And then on top of that, we have Stukov. So, yeah, Stukov with a lurking arm as a follow-up. And what is Arian gonna pick? Last but not least, everybody. And I'm running the timer now at the beginning. So. Oh, Tracer. I just mentioned Dino's Tracer. Now they're going for Tracer too. Oof. Yeah, Tracer and Zeratul. So we have actually each team with a high mobility assassin now. This could get very, very interesting. Final map in this best of 3 series. Who advances to the final round of the tournament? And who will have to go to the last chance qualifier? Let's find out right now on Garden of Terror. Hopium incoming on the left in blue with Lupus on Diablo. Just in case with Stukov. We got Fuzz on Zeratul. That's going to be an interesting one. Grey Keller on Junkrat. We got Mundane Zebra on Hoga. And on the right side of the map, also a couple of interesting choices. I mean, first of all, we have a very high mobility hero with Tracer, played by Arian for the Polish team. We have Itrax on Muradin, Rich on the Haka, which means that already you're going Stormbolt into Tong again, so you're having a couple of stuns and CC tools that you can use here. On top of that, Lavekal on Rega, and Alvaros is playing Zagara. So we get the second Zagara game in a row. I'm just basically saying, we don't think that you know how to deal with Zagara here. So we are just going to make sure that you are going to suffer the Zerg Queen's wrath once again. Now, on level 1, we're getting for Zeratul the Shadowhunter. We also got tricky shuffles for Junkrat. And the Haka has gone towards the top. I mean, again, big map, right? So, very, very big map. Zeratul has a side lane a little bit against him for now. Hoga will take over at some point. Wall stun is ready. Straight into the lurking arm. Okay, but Muradin is able to survive here. Anything else would honestly have shocked me to begin with. But yeah, on the top, another lick. And I think that could even be first blood. Nope. Fuzz gets out. Yeah. Zagara, again, at the bottom of the map is going to become a really, really big prime target for Zeratul as this game continues. He is going to try and get her, because she's a squishy, And if at any point there's a chance for him to make a play around this, he will try and jump in and take her out. So they have to shield her later on in the game. For now, it's not really that big of a deal, but as we're going into additional talents, as he starts completing some of his quests, adds more mobility, grabs wormhole and all that stuff, then Zagara is definitely going to become a juicy prime target where he can get quick kills. And this has been something that they failed to do in game number 2, which was also one of the reasons why they find themselves into the situation in the first place, where they have to win another map. So, yeah. Then again, Enjoyers, maybe they are able to pull it off now. Can they grab the victory here? Because, yeah, level 4 talents are now kicking in. Also, Zeratul against Tracer is another battle. We're going to get a lot of interesting battles here. Stukov by now is gone into the biotic armor. At the bottom of the map, Zagara just got targeted for a moment. Muradin is trying to move in. And that Stormbolt, zoning Stormbolt at best, and that is already very charitable. That went into, into no man's land. There was nobody there, not even remotely. I think he was a bit afraid of Diablo making a play there. But, yeah. Top side, Junkrat. It's all about camps, right? You're having a big map, you have a lot of mercenary camps. If you can claim them, you will apply additional pressure against an opponent. We have the objective now also up to try and grab a couple of these seats here. But mercenary camps are a huge priority when you're playing the God of Terror. And Zagara is getting caught, killed. Can they get Hogger out? I guess no. And they're losing Diablo too, so what looked initially like a great play because they get the kill turned very quickly into disaster as they're losing 2 in the process. So now we have the Enjoyers with 2 kills to 1 and a little bit more wiggle room on the map, maybe even a chance to escort the Siege Giants onto the wall and take that thing down because there's only 2 defenders. Zeratul and Rhaegar, you got Siege Giants and you have 3 heroes for the red team. So that is essentially the entire wall that they can crack here. Diablo's now coming back. Last tower, once that they destroy that. Yeah, but the minion wave came in and ruined the play a little bit. They don't get the last tower just yet. Soon will fall eventually. But they have level 7. They got level 7, that gives us also Skullcracker. Muradin has... Ooh, careful. Muradin has also gone for Reverberation. Which still tilts me that that is not the talent that has a double clap, because that would be what Reverberation means. But yeah, instead what we're getting is him then later on, very likely with Bronze Beard Rage on level 13, instead of Healing Stud again. So, but yeah, 2 kills to 1. Level 7 talents for the 2. And of course, on top of that, still Dehaka at the top with a global place for later on in the game. Playing against Zeratul again. First seed still not taken. Not even the minions, not even the Seeds minions have been taken out. So, yeah. But it's all about the mercenaries still, that hasn't changed. So Siege Giants are now being up for grabs. And it's a really interesting series. I mean, in game number 1, it was almost the Hopium incoming that put off a great show here. And it just felt from the start. And I've been talking about this, like they are really on eye level. And this is the... I feel like the second qualifier, way more with like super even games than what we had in the first one, where it was a little bit more one-sided. Now we had some top teams qualify there, 30k just being one of them, so we're going to see them in the final phase. Alvarez gets finally caught, and after the last time 2 heroes weren't enough to take Zagara out without being punished. Now they're just sending in 4, and that is a bit too much even for Alvarez. So yes, Zagara goes down, but of course that means that at the top you now have 3 heroes going up against Junkrat in an attempt to go for the fort. Blue team reacts by simply pushing at the bottom of the map. They have 3, Muradin is now in, but the topside fort is going to get destroyed. And I think at the bottom they're going... actually, it's not going to get destroyed because they're running out of minions. The next minion wave for the blue team was ready, and they don't have that yet. So this could still be more of a trade than anything else. Level 10 is also close. I mean, real close. So they want that fort still, and I guess they might get it, but nice move with the Riptire, taking the minion wave out. Still, they can't claim it. So, Fuzz is moving in, trying to go for Rhaegar here, just a bit of damage. Had to sacrifice the structure. Well, Stukov also went for the flailing swipe. We got Might of the Nerazim. Muradin is the only one that concerns me a bit, because as we see so often, he's waiting with his level 10 choice. Could be Avatar, could be Haymaker. Avatar probably a bit beneficial considering what they're going up against. With Diablo trying for wall stuns later, he could die way too quickly if he decides to go Haymaker. But Avatar is, so we're good on this one. 2 kills to 2. It's getting closer and closer. Junkrat is apparently having a blast here. He's just laughing around and is trying to take the waves out. Bottom of the map, a similar situation with Zagara, of course, having all the wave clear in the world in order to get this one destroyed. Richu with his AoE is also helping him out. The second seed about to be taken for the blue team, so this is actually quite nice. They're having a lot of pressure now against the Enjoyers. If they get Garden Terrors, likely it will result in a few of the forts falling. So the blue team, a couple of neat moves too. Zeratul becoming more of a problem already. Yep. Muradin. Stormbolt. Doesn't connect here. They try to go for Tracer. Lick against Zeratul. Lurking Arm. And Zeratul is out, but Stukov dies. Stukov goes down. And Zagara is just now coming in. They're trying to play with the barbecue. And actually, they're getting Tracer. That Ancestral was too late. Rhaegar also mega low, but instead Muradin is being targeted. Yard was just pulling him from left to right and forcing him into the Avatar, but even that doesn't save him, so the Dwarf is down. Budget Gimli gets killed, and they can now push for that top side forward. They got a minion wave coming in. They got the damage here. Seed at the bottom of the map, but after they've lost their own fort on the top lane, this is now an opportunity to pay them back a little bit. And even this could be taken out. So good for Hopium incoming. That was a really important fight for them. Getting the kills, getting the fort. Yeah, nice plays. 4 kills to 3. And now down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, Richu and Lavakal, at least they're getting the seed. So they had to focus on that. They don't want to go up against Garden Terrors on top of this too. Muradin. Yeah. They go for the camp. Okay, for a moment I thought, are they trying to contest this? And I was like, well, your opponent's level 13 talent, you don't have everybody here, maybe not. Zeratul still doing a bit of damage at the top. I mean, he has some ability to escape if he gets attacked. But here in the middle, wall stun. Wall stun gets instantly attacked and has to retreat here. Oh, the triple more! The triple more! But there's no proper follow-up. Maybe they can go for Stukov. Stukov was in an awkward spot, but a really nice flailing swipe. Stun into the wall. Muradin gets the Ancestral and will still die. Nice. Hopium incoming. They are all of a sudden in the driver's seat here. Game number 2, definitely something that they regret, apparently. Yeah, didn't properly know how to deal with that, but now with 5 kills to 3 and a level lead, this is looking way better for them. So the NA team is looking strong now. Structurally still even. Damage output, we can also take a quick look at that. 20,000 damage for Zagara. And 22,000 for Junkrat. 22,000 damage for Junkrat. Now the channel at the top. Yep, they're grabbing it, and this is the objective for Hopium incoming. This is the moment. This is where you can really make a bit of headway. If you are able to take more structures out now and really gain control of the map, that would be fantastic. You have Siege Giants in the middle. You have also the Garden Terror. You have it down at the bottom of the map, but over here, I guess defeated way too quickly, doesn't it? Yeah, Siege Giants alone are not going to cut it there for them. Targa's sitting at the side there too. There's still a Garden Terror at the bottom, trying to go for the next fort. It's early on in the game, of course, but it seems like they're not going to get a whole lot out of it. Bit of damage here in the mid lane. Trying to pull ahead in experience too. The Haka's dealing with the Garden Terror at the top, but down at the bottom, still a bit of work to be done. Riptire, not really doing anything, not even taking the minion wave out to help them push further. But this one is going to get destroyed, especially now that the mundane Zebra is coming in and tries to take that. So yeah, tries to take the minion wave out. Zagara also got attacked again by Zeratul, and it already shows you a little bit what's going on here. She made adjustments in her build in order to compensate. With level 13, we now get Spell Shield. But with Zagara also having to retreat a bit more often in order to halve, getting more damage in. So 2 forts are now destroyed, the one in the middle is low, and the Garden Terrors have still done some work at the bottom. Not really, I mean, weren't able to take the gate out or a tower. But still, blue team is now in the driver's seat. They're a level ahead, they have level 16, they've taken 2 forts out, so this is where you want to be. Make the plans, make your opponent react to you, force them to play your game. And Zeratul is just hunting. And of course, while he is there, he's also really starting to do well by just allowing the rest of the team to go for a few camps here. So he's essentially anchoring the play a little bit. Not only using it for vision, but also making sure that if there is a problem, he can help out. Talking about problems, Muradin has plenty of those. He's dead again. Budget Gimli is getting farmed here. 6 kills to 3. That fort is out, and we've been talking about momentum a lot earlier, and we're getting a ton of that at this point. Fuzz is able to get away, even though he got targeted towards the end of the fight by the fort too. But that's 3 forts now destroyed. It's honestly really it's basically the exact same situation that Hopium incoming was in the last game, just reversed. Now it is the red team that has lost every single one of their forts and will have a tougher time going for the objective in the middle of the map. So yeah. Much harder now for the red team to make a play into the middle. Depending on the spawn of any kind of seed that we're going to get, it's going to be a bit different. Muradin has indeed gone on level 13, as already predicted earlier, into the bronze beard raid, but now with 16 he's still waiting to pick the talent. Zeratul at the top. I would be a little bit careful, by the way, against the Haka. Nice dodging that Tong, but if that Tong connects and you're on 50% of your HP, you're not going to have a good day. You will have a pretty shitty experience there. I can tell you that much. So, yeah, the leading experience is still maintained. Zeratul is pushing at the top, trying to escort that catapult in, I suppose. Down here, flailing swipe. And Zeratul is just committing topside, isn't he? We have at the same time also Hogger claiming another camp for the blue team. The Haka was trying to interrupt on that at least a bit, but Zeratul still is not joining the fight, so the blue team is essentially buying time. That's it. Buying time, barbecue. If they win it 4 versus 5, that would be ridiculous. It looks like they might just be able to. The Haka is dead. They are winning the 4 versus 5. They go for Muradin. That's a double kill, while Zeratul is going for the keep at the top, and there's a big push at the bottom of the map too. Ridiculous. Hopium incoming with some massive plays right now, winning a 4v5, allowing Zeratul to destroy the keep at the top of the map, getting the next seed here. I mean, damn, that was massive. It's a huge leading experience too. We're talking essentially 2 levels now. So the situation got so unbelievably worse for the Enjoyers that starting a comeback here is gonna get really difficult. So Junkrat grabs it, he takes the thingy, the seed, and they are closing in on 20. Diablo, careful, still needs the heals, shouldn't overdo it, even if they are in such a great position. But damn, that got real bad for the European team. There's level 20 and they have to bridge 2 levels. 2 levels have to be bridged, in which your opponent is going to hunt you every single chance they are going to get. Void Slash, oh sorry, Shadow Strike now for Zeratul, wrong build. And yep, there's the next seed spawning, which they should get for free. 40,000 damage for Zagara, 47,000 for Junkrat. Damn. And they can siege up on the keeps now, which they will. I mean, why wouldn't they? With that big of an advantage, 100%. There's absolutely zero reason why you wouldn't make that play. So, with level 20, they got the chance to pull that off. Siege from afar. Go for seeds whenever they spawn. And try and grab the next set of Garden Towers. And also claim, of course, every single camp that is on the map. Already stealing the siege shines away from the opponent's team. Top side, Hogger, yeah. He's gonna go for it. And the red team is just pinned down. The Europeans are pinned down. They're sitting there as like, well, we can't really do anything without risking being forced into a fight where we have a massive disadvantage because we are not on level 20 yet and we don't have Storm Talons. So, Seeker taken. That was the next one. Very likely they're going to get the next set of Garden Terrors without even having to fight for it, unless the Enjoyers are just saying, okay, this is going to be too important. We need to fight it, even if we don't have level 20 talents. But the siege has still continued. They try to go for a kill. Zeratul, and he's gone. Zeratul is gone. That was the play. The Enjoyers, they get the kill. Hogger wasn't here. He was taking camps. Now the seed is spawning, and they can go for Stukov. They want Stukov. The Hogger. They are escaping. Just Diablo has to get out, and I'm not so sure that he can. I mean, he's a beefy boy. He has Hellgate too, but yeah, he's getting away, isn't he? No, there's the totem. They have the heals now, though. Oh, why Hoarder pulled here? Still trying to ping-pong it out. They're going for 4v5 again. They're saying, boys, we got level 20. We don't care. There's the barbecue play. Bye-bye, Tracer. Muradin is low, but he might just survive. Even with a kill, they are not able to turn this around. They're closing in on level 20, but the seed would give Garden Terrors again at the 17-minute mark to Hopium incoming. And they're just looking so damn good here. Even when they were 4v5, they just said, okay, we're going to go for it again and we're going to murder you. That's exactly what they did. It feels bad a little bit for the red team. Just as they were like, okay guys, finally we got a kill, let's chase them, let's get more, let's take another kill. Let's build on that little advantage that we have right now, close the gap and see if we can come back and take a foothold here. And instead what happens is they lose Tracer, they can't even win that fight anymore there. And then on top of that we are also having Garden Terrors, which should result in at least one keep falling. And they're just all gathering up at the bottom of the map and trying to make those moves. 56,000 damage by Junkrat. We got 52,000 by Zagara. Garden Terrors in the middle. Now it's 17 minutes in, so these are definitely going to hurt a bit more. Muradin with Rewind on 20. Rhaegar, of course, with Farsia's Blessing. Then we got Pack Instincts. Zeratul is starting to damage the bottom of the map. And let's not forget, there was a Garden Terror at the top too that essentially moved towards the core. So, yeah, bottom of the map. The Haka is now helping out. Here in the middle, they're poking. Defense is this far not too bad. They're losing a lot though. I mean, you can defend as much as you want, but this is still... They're losing at least a keep. Oh my god, another triple more. Flailing swipe, but I guess, yes, they're losing Junkrat. And they're losing Hogger. Now, 2 keeps are by now gone. So it's a 5 versus 3, and the core is also going to lose some hit points, but they can't end anymore. That triple more allowed them to ensure that the game isn't over yet. Zeratul, Jesus Christ, where it? Juking out everyone. 9 kills to 6, and now they just have to be patient a bit. But, yeah, the core has taken a little bit of damage, and 2 of the keeps are gone. But at least the Enjoyers are still in the game, right? So, they are still in the game for now. But they have enormous pressure at the bottom of the map, where there's catapults with every single wave. There's no counter pressure. Yeah, Fuzz coming in. Hit tracks are right. The attack is there, and, well, that is maybe a fort. Can they get that? With this Gao, they might just be able to. Zeratul is doing what exactly? Just trying to take the camp? Yep, apparently that's exactly what we're getting from him. Zeratul goes for the camp. He's like, nah, don't really care about this. Neither should he. I mean, honestly, if you have to sacrifice the fort, then just sacrifice the fort. It's absolutely not worth it to all of a sudden, you know, risk sacrificing the game by coming in here, posturing with a hero or two, losing them. Staggered deaths. You're continuously at a numbers disadvantage. And then losing the game because of it. So what they're doing instead is just playing it a bit slow until they have 5 on the map. And then Zeratul gets caught. Is that what we're seeing here? Yeah, jumps out. And Fuzz is... No, not like this. He actually dies. Really? Fuzz is dead? They were so patient, and then he gets caught and killed. And now for another minute, it's a 4 versus 5. So, the red team, they gotta decide what to do with it. Again, you're playing against the Enjoyers. You can't give these guys opportunities. If you give them opportunities to end games and then turn them around, they will do it. So, don't play the game of throws. It doesn't go well. Right now, it seems like they will still manage. The Enjoyers are, of course, trying to take advantage of the situation and push for the fort in the middle, or for the keep in the middle. Try and open it up a little bit. There's the Maw, but I don't think they got the damage there. The Haka isn't there either. They lose Muradin. Muradin is again dead. The barbecue plays that we're seeing from Diablo with the lightning breath are just spectacular. So, even without Zeratul, it's now a 4 versus 4. Diablo is low. Isolation Contagion hits. Hogger is dead. Hogger is dead. Another staggered death. Just as Zeratul is back too. But now they both have only 4 heroes. So yeah, it seems like this is escalating into a full-on brawl. which I suppose favors Hopium incoming because as long as they're brawling, nobody's defending the lanes. But yeah, it's just, it's a bit wild. 10 kills to 8, 18 in total, nearly a kill per minute. Not quite, but close. And yep, more cams. Cams. Get map control. Get the momentum. So at this point, blue team still... I mean, you look at the minimap and you see how far the lanes are pushed out, right? So it's essentially they're pinning them down. They have so many catapults, and as the game continues and we're hitting the 22-minute mark, these catapults just scale. They hurt. If you let them get to the core, it's just over. Then it's Winion time. So it is really annoying. And Zeratul is using, now that he's back against the wave clear, to try and push for the fort in the middle, or for the keep in the middle. We have a tribute to a tribute. Yep, traps are being set up too. And the Haka is the one that is reacting essentially to whatever Zeratul does or tries to keep up with him. So another seed is coming in, and we have also a siege giant camp at the bottom of the map. So there's two things that make it worth committing to this. The siege giant camp might be gone very, very quickly here. Yeah, because they want this one. And Zeratul again, busy in the middle. He has to be careful. I mean, I like what Fuzz does. I really like the way that he's currently trying to just always create a little bit of a pressure play, keep the Haka busy, and always see if he can maybe even destroy the keep. But he also has to be mega careful, because they're really trying to pick up on it. And they try to cover all the potential exit strategies for Zeratul, and if they catch him again, and then it's a 5 versus 4 that late in the game, you might get punished. So you gotta be really careful. And this is a high-stakes game now for both of them. You need to win this one. This one guarantees you a spot in the final phase of the tournament. And let's not forget, we're not playing out the grand final. This is, or that's not the plan at least. This is all about just like the semifinals, win one, the top 2 advance out of the tournament. So here's the Stormbolt missing. Zeratul still sitting there. Dehaka moved away. Dehaka moved away, trying to force the fight. So Diablo comes out with the Hellgate. Zeratul is all alone. And what is he going to do? Try and go for core? It seems like it. Riptire. Yep, Dehaka gets pushed back. Zeratul just pushed him for the core just a little bit. Doesn't even go for the keep, but goes for the core instead. The fight, on the other hand, Meridian Avatar, and he's out. Tracer and Rhaegar retreated to deal with Zeratul, which means that now there's a chance to go for Zagara. Zagara's dead. Zagara's 100% dead. They're going to get her. Zagara's gone. They just need to make sure that Hogga doesn't die as a result, and that's what they did. Muradin with the Stormbolt misses it barely, but that means Itrax is now also in real trouble. They're trying for the fight again, and Zeratul is escorting catapults over towards the core. He's going to try and end it now. And catapults on the core are going to end the game. That shield is gone within seconds. Those catapults are shredding it. Stukov dead or not, I really don't care. Look at the catapults destroying that thing. That's game. That's just game. The catapults in play ensure that it's over. Hopium incoming, ladies and gentlemen, wins the series and moves on to the final phase of the tournament. GG, and well...